Despite recent reductions in food prices, food security in the continent remains elusive. Although the potential of agricultural production is high, Africa has been producing less food than it needs. It's out of this that President William Ruto is pushing for fertilizer self-reliance in the continent.
I stand here to make a very strong case for a common strategy, collective action, joint investment, and logistical collaboration to ensure every arable acre of Africa's land receives the right type and quantity of fertilizer.
President Ruto explained that this would unlock Africa's agricultural productivity, thereby spurring economic growth, expanding job opportunities, and enhancing food security. The president emphasized the need for collaboration among African countries to boost the continent's capacity to produce fertilizer using locally available raw materials.
Absence of nitrogen fertilizer production plants due to high capital requirements underscores the need for regional investment collaboration to enhance our self-sufficiency in fertilizer manufacturing.
His sentiments were echoed by President Emmerson Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe, who said that Africa must use its raw materials to produce sufficient fertilizer locally.
It is unfortunate that, despite the inherent potential, Africa currently spends billions of dollars in food and fertilizer imports per year. Greater efforts must be made to leverage the availability of raw materials for the local production of mineral fertilizers.
The Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema, on his part, called on African Union member states to enhance their capacity to produce fertilizer locally, pointing out that they must commit to buying fertilizer from within the continent. He warned that it would be counterproductive if African countries invested in fertilizer production while continuing to buy it from outside the continent.
If fertilizer is not affordable, it means when we produce the food will be expensive. We shouldn't depend on others to supply us with fertilizer from outside the continent. Therefore, we need to invest, I agree with President Ruto, on our continent to increase the capacity to produce fertilizer. Yes, using our raw materials as much as possible.
To achieve that objective, members of the African Union must devise and implement policies with a dual approach, which is short-term policies to mitigate the immediate impact of crisis on food and fertilizer prices, and long-term strategies to ensure that Africa is resilient to future crises and self-sufficient. Linda Koskeke, 24 TV.